welcome to the Pascal and Piper Show. I'm Piper.
I'm Pascal.
And we hope you are having a marvelous Monday. Woo! Today we're going to be talking about Human Rights Day, but before we get into that, let's roll our intro. Oh, we went the opposite. Is this the first day where we don't do the same? Which way are we going?
Website in case you wanted to go see it, and also learn there's lots more that we're not going to talk about, so you can always go and read that there. Alright, so Human Rights Day is observed every year on December 10th, the day the United Nations General Assembly adopted in 1948 the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a milestone document which proclaims that everyone is entitled to as human beings regardless of race, color, religion, sex, language, political or other opinions, natural or social origin, property, birth, or other statuses. It's available in more than 500 languages and is the most translated document in the world.
Oh dang, I didn't know.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. The 2021 theme of equality, which is reducing inequalities and advancing human rights. So this year's Human Rights Day theme is equality, and Article 1 of the UDHR says, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. The principles of equality and non-discrimination at the heart of human rights. Equality is aligned with the 2030 Agenda, and the UN approach is set out in the document of shared framework. I'm so blind, I can't see. Leaving no one behind. Equality and non-discrimination at the heart of sustainable development. This includes addressing and finding solutions for deep-rooted forms of discrimination that have affected the most vulnerable people in societies, including women, girls, indigenous peoples, people of African descent, the LGBTQ+ community, migrants, and people with disabilities, among others. Equality, inclusion, and non-discrimination, in other words, a human rights-based approach in development, is the best way to reduce inequalities and resume our path towards resulting in the 2030 Agenda. That's my theme for this year.
So, one of their topics is rebuild better, fairer, and greener. So, there's this campaign going around about economy and how to have human rights-based in economy. There's also rebuilding fairer, a new social contract. There's equal opportunities for the youth, and there's also reversing vaccine inequalities and justice, and then there's also environmental actions as well for human rights, so that everybody can be included in everything.
We're just going over like the brief basics of it,
Yeah.
but we will leave a link to this UN article in the description of this video. I believe in us, we can figure out how to do that, so that you can also read more about what Human Rights Day is all about.
So that if you care more about the economic side of things, you can read about that. If you care more about the equal opportunities for youth, you can read more about that. So that way you get a general understanding of everything.
Yeah.
Super exciting. Okay, so here are 10 ways that you can work on Human Rights Day and do things in your community. I'll do
I'll do odds, you do evens.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is at your school, like if your school has the student council, student government, ASB, that sort of deal. You could work with them trying to create a resolution in honor Human Rights Day. So whatever that looks like for you guys, whether that means like you have like a poster up or just finding a way to acknowledge it on December 10th. So work with your student council to do that.
The second one is write an article in your school newspaper. School newspapers can be great ways to like get information out. So maybe write a small article and be like, hey, can we post this in the article this week to talk about Human Rights Day?
Next is you could set up a public reading. So if you have at your school, if they let you do it at lunch or even just at your Girl Scout troop meetings, you guys could talk about this too. Just read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights document.
Next is set up a free expression wall. So maybe on a blank wall or a large piece of paper, you encourage your friends to write about what human rights means to them on this board.
Where are we?
5.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I was thinking about this one. Okay, number 5, I think this one's my favorite just because I find it the most fun, is make a viral video about Human Rights Day. So that's kind of like what we do. You know, you talk about things, you make videos. It's really not that hard. We're just using Pascal's phone, for example, and we have a tripod. But really, you could do anything. And it could be a serious video. It could be a fun video. However you feel best that you can explain what Human Rights Day is and the importance of it, be creative with it.
Yeah. The next one is start a Facebook campaign. So encourage your friends to change their profile pictures to individualized Human Rights Day banners. Maybe not just Facebook, maybe do Instagram or I don't know what else. TikTok, Facebook, anything that changes like your little profile picture, make it individualized for Human Rights Day.
Why were we struggling to come up with social media? I was like, as if we're not on them all the time. Okay, number 7 is to hand out t-shirts or other gear that has like Human Rights Day just to spread awareness about it. That's something you can make. I know people use like crickets now, but you know, I mean, maybe crickets were around for a long time. I don't know. But what I used to do is you could get photo transfer paper and you can make a little design on your computer. And then you put the photo transfer paper in your printer, and then you print the design on there, and then you iron it onto your shirt or whatever. I used to do that. So you could do that too. Or if you have a Cricut. I don't know how Cricuts work. I don't know if they're harder not to make. I'm not crafty like that. But you could do something like that. Or even if you just get a t-shirt and you just Sharpie it on. That'll be good. Okay. Next.
Alrighty. You can work with people in the history department or any department in your school or just a teacher that you enjoy talking to or learning to. And you can host a lecture about human rights and work with others in other departments to get attendance. Maybe see if they'll offer extra credit for your lecture that you could do.
That's a good one. Number 9 is to hold a candlelight vigil or other commemorative event. While it's important to have fun with Human Rights Day and talk about it in a creative way, it's also really serious. Consider holding a vigil or other event to commemorate it for those who have suffered those who have suffered human rights abuses and those who have human rights are still violated, because that is still something that people suffer with in 2021.
And our last one is hold a talent show, a dance, or a party. Big social events are great ways to bring awareness to an issue. So why not have a human rights themed party? You could also do like free admission if you dress up like Eleanor Roosevelt or
someone who has, fought for human rights. So before we leave off, I guess let's just talk about quickly why human rights is important. Because it's not fun to be discriminated against for something that A, that you cannot change, or B, is something that you really believe in. And in countries like the United States, we are really blessed that we have the U.S. Constitution to protect us and to allow us to have these differences of opinions and to celebrate different